Here we are again. Can you believe this is the 5th year I have done a news compilation? And before I get started, I want to thank Lewis Bollard from Open Philanthropy. He does his 10 big wins for farmed animals at the end of every year. Also, VegNews and VegConomist for all the great vegan food news. This might actually be the longest one I've ever done. I had a really hard time trimming things down. Sorry. For the 5th year in a row, fuck fur. Production is still declining worldwide, including here in the US. So unsurprisingly, we have another fur ban, this time Romania. This groundbreaking decision is the result of nearly 2 years of political debates and sustained campaigning by our Fur-Free Alliance member group in Romania, Humane Society Europe, and fellow animal groups. All fur farming in the country will be illegal starting in 2027, and that will make Romania the 22nd European country to ban the practice. Here in the US, we have Attleboro and Arlington, Massachusetts. They banned the sale of new fur, so new products that have fur. There was a huge campaign by Fur-Free Alliance and Humane Society of the United States to convince Max Mara, a luxury fashion brand, to stop selling fur. They even had this big blimp. It was successful. Alexander Wang also committed to a fur-free policy. There's another brand that's a little more controversial. Apparently, they haven't actually used any fur since 2018, but they do now have an explicit fur-free policy. None of this progress would have happened if it weren't for passionate advocates who stayed the course and made their voices heard. Whether you asked brands or retailers to drop fur on social media, wrote to legislators to support the end of fur sales or production, opted for fur-free alternatives, or all of the above, it's because of you that we all bear witness to the fur industry's ongoing collapse. Next stop for animal hides, maybe leather? While production isn't declining nearly as much as it is for fur, the leather industry is struggling partly because demand from the US has dropped. I think this has more to do with culture and cost than animal welfare and sustainability. Like, who wears leather jackets anymore, really? Especially when plastic alternatives are just so much cheaper. And more alternatives are being developed all the time. We've got leather made from apple waste, pineapple leaves, sugarcane, grains, even animal skin cells, aka lab-grown leather or cultivated leather. According to a 10-year market forecast, the vegan bio-based leather industry production capacity will grow at a compound annual growth rate of 37.4% from 2024 to 2034. Finally, for leather, we have this UK shoe brand pledging to stop using kangaroo leather. In fact, they'll be 100% vegan once the last of their kangaroo leather shoes sell out. I didn't even know kangaroo leather was a thing, but apparently it was considered sustainable because it was a byproduct of culling the kangaroo population. Unsurprisingly, the population is declining a lot, which makes it obvious that people are doing it for profit. When we committed to being a sustainable business, we knew it was important to be open to change, to adapt to new information, new studies, new ways of thinking. We genuinely believed that K-leather was a humane choice, but after talking with a number of specialists and analyzing the new information, we have realized that's no longer the case. This is from a long thing they posted about kangaroo leather and their change in views. It's really cool. They seem like an awesome company. I kind of wish I played football so I could buy their shoes. It will be interesting to see in the coming years if advocacy groups like Humane Society and PETA start to focus more on leather. Just like kangaroo leather, cow leather is not a byproduct. Animal agriculture industry makes a lot of money off of leather. There's also the sustainability issue. Leather is better for the environment than leather. Animal testing. So we have another US state banning animal testing for cosmetics, this time Washington. They will not allow the sale of new cosmetics that were tested on animals. This isn't medical testing. Our understanding of animal suffering and the science behind cosmetics has advanced enough that we should know better than to maintain this horrible practice. In India, we have the India Pharmacopoeia Commission no longer requiring the target animal batch safety test for veterinary vaccines. Another thing I'd never heard of typically involves the administration of vaccine overdose to animals to test that every batch of vaccine produced is safe for a specific species. However, multiple studies have proved that the method lacks specificity and is prone to producing false results. It's an old test that other countries dropped years ago. Speaking of vaccines, we have the Brazilian Health Regulatory Agency. They've recognized the animal-free MAT method as an acceptable alternative to the cruel RPT or rabbit pyrogenicity test. They joined the EU, India, Japan, and China. Finally, we have this German research team. They created an animal-free method for antibody production. The research is still very new, so whether or not this method will actually be used to make antibodies, who knows? Unlike ending fur or leather, animal testing is just a lot more difficult. There are animal-free methods that have been around for decades but just aren't being used yet. But in the majority of cases, animal experiments just don't have an alternative yet. But with number one, cost, animal-free has the potential to cost less and also be more reliable. And two, governments like the US investing in researching animal alternatives, I think we will absolutely see a huge reduction in animal experiments in the coming decades. I talked about bullfighting last year. Specifically, I talked about Colombia's Senate passing a measure to ban it. Well, Congress approved it this past summer, and Colombian President Gustavo Petro signed it into law in a bull ring in front of hundreds of activists. He said, "We cannot tell the world that killing living and sentient beings for entertainment is culture. That kind of culture of killing an animal for entertainment would also lead us to kill human beings for entertainment, because we are also animals." The law goes into effect 2027. Farmed animals, another thing I mentioned last year, I think Open Wing Alliance, they track companies and their pledges to go cage-free. 89% of cage-free egg pledges with deadlines of 2023 or earlier have been fulfilled. France, Germany, Brazil, the UK, the US all have more cage-free birds. The US is up to 40% from 4% in 2010. These changes matter. The most comprehensive analysis to date by the Welfare Footprint Project suggests that cage-free hens suffer less than half as much as their caged cousins. Fewer male chicks are being ground up alive in Europe thanks to anovosexing. One U.S. egg producer, Egg Innovations in Indiana, says they will start using the technology this year. The assumption is once we start, some other people will follow. Someone has to move the needle. South Korea banned dog meat, both sale and production. It goes into effect 2027. This one is really surprising, really cool. Mexico's constitution now includes animal welfare, and not just for pets, all animals. So specifically, Congress amended 3 articles, 3, 4, and 73. 4 and 73 allow the federal government to act on behalf of animals, prohibits the mistreatment of animals, and allows the government to create laws protecting animals. And 3 says students have to be taught about animal welfare in schools. There's no mention of farmed animals specifically, but clearly it's broad enough to include them. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It will be interesting to see how this affects the Mexican bullfighting industry. Against the giant wrongs of factory farming, these wins may appear small, but for the animals affected, they are a big deal. And they were all achieved by a small group of advocates operating with less funding than Harvard spent renovating a single residential house. Public perception. So this is like universities or events having more public options, celebrities promoting veganism, stuff like that, politicians. So of course we had the Paris Olympics last year promoting plant-based. We have the US Open apparently focusing on plant-based. Plant-based meat and cheese company Better Balance has partnered with LA's Crypto.com Arena. Yes, this is formerly the Staples Center. I didn't know it changed names. And it's just the worst possible name I can think of. People still call it Staples Center, right? Better Balance will be integrated into select concessions and menus across the arena, Verify, providing delicious guilt-free choices for those looking for plant-based alternatives. Wait, do they need to verify that the Better Balance products will be available at select concessions, or do they need to verify that Better Balance is providing delicious choices? Gotta reread your copy before you hit publish. Vegan and vegetarian restaurant orders are up in the UK. 34 cities have endorsed the plant-based treaty, part of which includes promoting plant-based eating. We've got West Hollywood, Belfast, and several Indian cities. Baltimore is the first U.S. city to declare January Veganuary. Thanks to major protesting by PETA and others, Starbucks has finally dropped the plant milk surcharge in US and Canada. Durham Public Schools in North Carolina introduced vegan nuggets made by Dr. Prager's, and they are very successful. We never in our wildest dreams could imagine the number of kids that were going to take those vegan nuggets. Maintaining adequate stock has been challenging due to their rapid consumption. Dr. Prager, they're providing nuggets to a bunch of other districts too, and they say they're seeing similar results just across the country. Unsurprising, but still very awesome, India has the largest percentage of vegans and vegetarians. 4 out of 10 are vegetarian. Europe's largest hospitality group is ramping up their plant-based options, and they say they will be 50% vegan by 2030. American Airlines has dairy creamer, so now we're up to 5: Delta, Alaska, United, JetBlue, and American. Last year, I reported about 11 New York hospitals providing plant-based meals as the default, so you could still get meat, but you had to ask for it. I also said that the response from patients was overwhelming. Well, we now have a report that says the same thing. Over 95% acceptance and 90% satisfaction, plus it's cheaper and better for the environment. Netherlands grocery chain Lidl is permanently reducing the price of their plant-based meats and cheeses, either equal to counterparts or less than animal-based counterparts. And 11 supermarkets in the Netherlands, including Lidl, have committed to selling 60% plant-based proteins by 2030. Next Level Burger won the nation's best fast food chain in the 2024 Newsweek Reader's Choice Awards. Stacked up against all these meat places. That's pretty cool. British Veterinarian Association finally says that you can feed a dog a plant-based diet. So apparently they were criticized for being in partnership with Mars Pet Care, and people were saying, well, that's why you're so negative towards plant-based for dogs. So in response, BVA created a working group to review its position on plant-based and reversed it. Norway, Austria, and Germany are now all recommending plant-based diets as part of their national dietary guidelines. Norway says, have a varied diet, choose mostly plant-based foods, and eat with pleasure. I feel like I don't sound as excited as I am about that. I'm trying not to get too animated because I might have like a coughing fit. But yeah, it's a huge deal. All right, here in the US, the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee has released their recommendations for the upcoming 2025-2030 dietary guidelines, and they are super pro-plants. Emphasize intakes of beans, peas, and lentils, and reduce intakes of red and processed meats. They say this can be done by reducing the starchy food recommendation and also by moving beans from the vegetable category to the protein category. They want nuts and seeds added to protein as well. And this is really cool. They want beans listed first, followed by nuts and seeds, then soy, then animal products. This reordering of protein foods emphasizes the health benefits of more plant-based protein foods. Again, these are just recommendations. We don't know what the HHS and USDA will ultimately choose, but they are accepting public input until February 10th. All you have to do is go to dietaryguidelines.gov/public-comment-departments to submit a public comment. And finally, we have a really cool one that could be included in government investment. Ukraine's soldiers now have access to vegan rations. We know that many of our troops follow different religious traditions or have special dietary needs, so we actively work with religious communities and nutrition experts. We also understand the importance of ethical choices, so plant-based dry rations will be an important part of our new strategy. This is not only a matter of nutrition, but also of respect for the beliefs of each fighter. New vegan products from vegan companies that only sell vegan foods. We have Tyndall stuffed chicken pockets. This reminds me of, I think it was Tofurkey. Didn't they have some like pizza pockets or something? These aren't pizza. One's a chicken parmesan, I think, and another one's like a curry kind of thing. But yeah, I swear Tofurkey had something like this. Wonder Eggs, not a new product, but they are definitely expanding. They're at Safeway and more stores in 2025. Wild Earth cat food. It is not cultivated. That is something they were definitely promoting a few years ago. I don't know if they're still working on that or not, but yeah, they have a plant-based cat food. Beyond Meat Mycelium Steak. This is set to launch in a healthy restaurant chain, so like not McDonald's. Maybe Next Level Burger? Cocoa-free chocolate is really ramping up, which makes sense given the state of cacao farming right now. Very, very cool. Chunk Foods, which is the worst. No, I don't want to eat anything called chunk. Anyway, Chunk Foods is coming to LA and New York and apparently will be price competitive with premium meat. Juicy Marbles, another plant-based meat company, is coming to Sainsbury in the UK. They did a 2-week trial at Waitrose. Is that how you say it? Waitrose? 86% sold out in less than 4 days. Silk cold foam creamers. These just look awesome. They sound awesome. I really want to try them, but I'm afraid they're going to have that weird, sweet, fakey taste that a lot of creamers have. Flora smoked garlic butter. That just sounds delicious. I want it. Flora is owned by the same group. I think it's called the Flora Group as Violife. Tofurkey is working on new deli slices that emulate whole muscle cuts. That sounds crazy to me. That slices? How is it gonna, what? I don't know, but I'm excited. And finally, no. I will not try that. You can't make me try that. Non-vegan companies adding vegan options. Okay, the first one I think maybe should be kind of its own category. Non-vegan companies actually transitioning to become vegan companies. The Body Shop. Not too surprising. They've been cruelty-free since inception, and I think they've been saying they were going to go vegan for like years now. Well, they are. They are 100% vegan. All of their products are certified by the Vegan Society. And another one, this one much more surprising, we have an Italian company, Tenazzo, is shutting down their meat business to focus solely on their popular plant-based line. So maybe not too surprising, they do already have plant-based stuff. Again, that's popular. It's one of the largest companies in that space in Italy, but still really cool. As early movers in this market, we feel a deep responsibility to future generations. We want to contribute to environmental preservation and foster collective awareness. We are confident that the market and consumers will once again follow our lead. We have a Dutch dairy company making vegan cheese slices with added protein. It says on the packaging 10 grams. I don't think that's per slice, right? Like a slice of cow's milk cheese is what? I think I looked it up. It's like 5 grams. 10 grams in a slice. That just sounds crazy. So I'm guessing it's like 2 slices. Oh, and another company that's going fully vegan. Wendy's tested a plant burger made with Beyond Meat in Georgia, not the state, the country. McDonald's France has veggie McPlant nuggets made with Beyond Meat again. And this one is not a test. This is a permanent menu item and apparently really tasty. So hopefully we see them here someday. Trader Joe's meatless breakfast sausage patties, they used to contain egg. Now they are fully vegan. Unfortunately, some people are not happy about this. Vegan Cheetos in Canada. So this one was a little weird to me at first. It originated with Accidentally Vegan Canada on Instagram. And I don't know, the packaging just looks like fake to me. I don't know. But VegNews says a PepsiCo food rep confirmed that it's real and will be on shelves in Canada soon. Barilla, Buddy, remember those commercials? They have vegan pesto at Kroger right now. Only 3 reviews, but very, very positive. It's super smooth and goopy. Yeah, I think I will stick with Trader Joe's. Vegan Nutella is supposed to show up in German stores like any day now. Vegan Ugg boots, yay! And they're just as hideous as the originals. Duke's has a plant-based mayo with good reviews, actually, this time. Oscar Mayer partnered with Notco to make, obviously, vegan hot dogs. While I love the length of them, they were super salty. I definitely prefer the Morningstar Farms frozen ones. Also, that's what she said. Finally, Walmart has a plant-based line. It's part of their Better Goods private label, which is not all vegan, but the green packaging means that it is vegan, so that's cool. Oat milk ice cream for only $3.44 a pint. That's pretty good. Ben & Jerry's I usually see for $5.99. I think the best price is still Breyers. You can get the bigger 48 ounce tub for $5.99. Government investment in plant-based and cultivated meats and cheeses and all of that is still going strong. $51 million federal grant to the Illinois Fermentation and Agriculture Biomanufacturing Tech Hub. Precision fermentation is crucial for developing better plant alternatives. The UK invested £1.6 million to fast-track cultivated meat approvals. Meatable, a Dutch clean meat company, got €7.6 million as part of the Netherlands Enterprise Agency Innovation Credit Program. RVO's innovation credits are designed to support innovative development projects with considerable technological risks and excellent market prospects. Meatable intends to use the funding to improve productivity and reduce costs as it moves towards commercialization. Poland gives €2 million to a cultivated meat startup. There's so much more. I know this category, I don't know, it seems kind of boring, right, compared to like new vegan products and animal wins, but it's, I think, arguably the most important. We absolutely need government money. A lot more money to radically improve the food system for us, for the animals, for the planet. Clean meat. First, Vegan Society put out their position on clean meat, which is that it's not vegan, which makes total sense. I talked about this in my clean meat video. Currently, the vast majority starts by taking a sample from an animal. So I think it's fair to say it's not vegan, but it's still very cool and potentially could reduce a lot of suffering. Lots of cultivated pet food for 2024, which makes sense. Lower barrier to entry there, right? Feeding pets instead of people. Cultivated fish cat treats. These are slated to hit stores in Singapore and San Francisco early this year. Meatly has been cleared to sell their cultivated chicken pet food in the UK, and they were supposed to have some in stores last year. They partnered with the plant-based food company Omni to make it. Did that happen? I'm really skeptical, right? I mean, we've heard some pretty crazy timelines from cultivated meat startups. So if you saw this packaging anywhere, let me know. Bean Meat introduced their cultivated pet food at a trade fair. No idea when or if their products will hit stores. Also, it has not been specified which type of meat. Seems kind of ominous. Lastly, for pets, we have BioCraft Pet Nutrition. They say they can sell their cultivated meat at a similar price to premium pet food. Instead of discarding the nutrient-rich growth media after cell cultivation, BioCraft reformulates it to be part of the final product. This reutilization eliminates waste and reduces the cost of acquiring and disposing of the media. Very cool, still skeptical. Price parity again, this time it's super meat chicken, and it's for people. They say it will be price comparable with pasture-raised chicken, so premium chicken. Remember super meat, by the way? They did was it Kickstarter or Indiegogo years ago now? And I was pretty skeptical. Their timelines were pretty insane. And yeah, they did not meet those deadlines. But hey, they're still going strong. They're still working. They're getting stuff done. Good for them. Another chocolate alternative, this time cultivated, of course, California Cultured. They've gotten some big investments, and they made a deal with Japan's largest chocolate company to include their cultivated chocolate in their lineup of products. Orbillion has hit a production milestone for cultivated beef with manufacturing facilities in North America, Europe, and Asia. The expansion marks a key development in scaling cultivated meat for global markets while addressing the challenges of cost and large-scale production. There's so much more. I'm constantly learning about new clean meat cultivated companies, more investments, and something weird, of course. We have an AI cultivated meat chatbot. Sure, why not? So much more. I culled so many headlines and still ended up with a million things to talk about. It's really cool. I do want to talk about a couple other things that just made me happy when they happened. Maybe a week ago, I got an email from the New York Times promoting these 14 healthy recipes. So I'm like, oh gosh, I looked through them. And it turns out 9 of the 14 are vegetarian. There are even a couple of specifically vegan ones. They have a vegan Caesar salad. I've actually been making the Caesar dressing. It's delicious. They have some sort of, a tofu noodle thing? Just very cool that the majority of the recipes don't have any meat. Another really cool thing, Poker Face. I don't know if you've seen it. Really, really cute show. And I think it's the 3rd episode. Is very vegan heavy. There's a vegan character, and they are not the butt of the joke. They're actually good and sympathetic, and it's presented as like a real thing to care about. Like, that's not like the point of the episode, but the vegan is presented very well, if you know what I'm saying. It was just nice. When it started, I was like, oh God, I don't know if I want to watch this, but it was really good. It was really sweet. Thank you so much, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry I got this out so late. I'd like to get it out really before the new year, at the very least at the beginning of January. I do have another video coming out very soon talking about, ooh, I just got distracted by my nails. I painted my nails like, I don't know, a very wintry blue, black, purple, gray kind of thing. And I was like, ooh. And I used a matte top coat for the first time on a couple of the nails. It's so cool. I just wish I was better at painting nails, because like I would show you, but it's just sad if you see it up close. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. It's hard when you have short nails too. Like how do you cap the tip with short nails? I've watched the videos. I've seen the tips. It's hard, all right? It doesn't work for me. Anyway, a patron asked about the state of plant-based products, and it seems like, you know, sales are stalling or even like reversing. What happened to the momentum we saw in 2019, 2020, 2021. And I had it at the end of this video, but it's a little long. This video is already long. So I went ahead and made a separate video, and that will be out very soon. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed it. Of course, comment and subscribe and like and all that stuff. And thank you so much to my members here on YouTube and my patrons at patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. I do post 2 exclusive videos a month. For tier 2 members and patrons, I do a vlog and a controversial. The controversial for this month, for January, will be up very soon. I also have shirts and totes and a mug. Maybe one day I'll make a new shirt or something. I don't know. I honestly really want to write a book, but I don't. What do I write? Amazon store page with some stuff, books and whatnot that I recommend. And yeah, that's it for me. Thanks, guys. New video soon. Okay. I just had to text my dad back. He sent me a link about Labyrinth getting a sequel, and it's Robert Eggers, who I really like, very talented. And my dad said, Swayze, are you happy? Or, I mean, whatever, but no, I'm not happy. No Bowie. No, I'm not happy. Which is so selfish. Watch, it's great, and it's great for newer generations, and I'm just like, me. It's not the original. Me. By the way, Mr. Worm, just last night, my 2-year-old's crib right over here, for some reason, first time they've noticed him, and they were like, what's that? And I was like, oh, that's Mr. Worm. He's cool. They get quiet. I put them in the crib, and they go, I don't want that in here. So I said, no problem. Threw it out of the room, and they were like, it's got big eyes. I was like, yeah, it does have big eyes that are kind of staring right at you, huh? Yes. So that might become a thing where I just have to take it out of the room every night. I gotta put it back. I don't want to forget it for recording. Is cultivated meat based? Cultivated meat is based on, oh man, is cultivated meat the GOAT? Cultivated meat is considered a groundbreaking innovation with the potential to revolutionize the food industry. It offers many benefits, blah, 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 blah. While it might not yet be the greatest of all time. Okay, so it's responding to what I said. It's an exciting development in making our food system more sustainable and humane. Is Soylent Green people? Soylent Green is a fictional product from a movie, but it's not real. What? Soylent Green is a fictional product from a movie, but it's not real. Shouldn't that be, and it's not real? Or just leave that part out. I think we got it. I think fictional told us everything we needed to know there. If you're looking for sustainable food options, cultivated meat is a real-life innovation that focuses on growing animal cells to create meat without harming animals. All right, that was less fun than I hoped it'd be.